So I had an interesting conversation on Twitter and Facebook the other day that really got my brain buzzing. It's Monday, there's not really a lot going on, so let's get topical and conversational. The question I proposed to my followers and Facebook people, friends, was, what game do you love more than anything, but you would never want to actually go back and replay? Myself and others found this question really awesome and a lot of fun to talk about, just because we always talk about in gaming how important replayability is and how much we love to go back and play a game obsessively and over and over and over again. But what games do we really love that we just never want to go back and play for various reasons? I'll explain mine for the games I choose. The first game that comes to mind that I love but I never really want to play again is the original BioShock. Exploring Andrew Ryan's underwater city of Rapture was something that just is really mystifying and just really gives you a sense of wonderment that I don't think I'll ever have again if I play it. That game has such a distinct vibe that I just almost never want to play it again. I almost feel better just thinking about how it was and imagining how it was. This is a very difficult thing to talk about, you know, with how much you love a game but you don't want to play it. But I can also relate to BioShock just because there were parts of the game that were very grating that I don't think I'd ever want to go through again. But that's mechanical stuff. Another one that comes to mind is another recent one, and a lot of people agreed with me on this. It's Journey. Now, Journey was like it's an amazing experience, game of the year, it's art, it must be experienced, it's an experience. But it really is an experience, and it's another one that I don't think I'd be able to do again. I think this is actually what the developers intended by making this, like, what, a 2.5-hour game? It's kind of like a movie you sit down and watch, but maybe it's a movie you never really watch again, or watch 15 years from now. By the time it ends and it builds to all that, I don't think that I'll feel the same way playing it again. I feel like it'll just be like more of a trudge. Another recently downloadable one is Telltale Games' The Walking Dead. Now, after I beat The Walking Dead, I wanted to jump right back into it because I was thinking, every time I made a decision, I was like, that decision could really change the way the rest of the game plans out. That choice really could affect a lot of things later on. So I feel like I was missing out on a whole other game. But then upon going back, I realized that all these choices that I had made were choices that I really thought about and choices that I really sided with. And it would feel weird to go back and choose things that I don't agree with just for the sake of seeing the rest of the game. It's different when you're playing something like Fable or Knights of the Old Republic or even Mass Effect, where you're just being good or bad. It's much more than that when you're making decisions. And that's why I really think The Walking Dead did a great job. I think it's a huge compliment that I don't want to replay it. These are compliments to games that we love so much that we just never really want to play them again. Now those are all like experience-wise things and like fear that I'll never experience it again the way it is. And that goes for older games that I haven't really brought up. So like Silent Hill, a lot of people I talked to said Silent Hill because they were afraid that they wouldn't get scared and the game wouldn't go that deep underneath their skin like it did originally. And I can totally agree with that. There are other games that I love that I never want to replay again just because of the sake of the story. Metal Gear Solid 4 is a perfect example. Metal Gear Solid 4 is one of my favorite games. Metal Gear Solid, the series, is one of my favorite series of all time. I can play the original over and over again and stuff like that. But Metal Gear Solid 4, I sucked at so bad. I sucked at it so bad, but I loved every single minute of it. I know I really shouldn't be admitting this on YouTube, it's really embarrassing, but I would rather just kind of watch the game. And now those cutscenes, as long as they are, I can watch those over and over again, but that's a gameplay experience that I never really want to go through again. I just want to get to the story, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people felt like that with me with stuff like L.A. Noire, which is really interesting because I didn't know anyone really liked L.A. Noire. So like I said, this is really just kind of like a conversational thing. I wanted to make this video like an icebreaker to you guys so we can talk in the comments about this stuff because it's really interesting. We can go into thousands of different types of games that you never want to play again and reasons you don't ever want to play them. And while it sounds really like negative, like we're hating on these games, it's not. It's a huge compliment to the game because we love it so much and we just never want to play it again because we love it so much. It sounds crazy. I can't believe I'm talking about this. So guys, let's talk in the comments. What game do you love but you never ever want to play again? And also, why don't you ever want to play that? Is it because of a mechanical reason? Are you bad at the gameplay like me? Or are you just afraid that you'll never experience it the way you originally think about it and the way you originally perceived it? So let's get talking. I'll be back later in the week, of course, talking about regular video game stuff. But for now, let's talk about this. So if you like my channel and you like listening to me blab about video games and stuff, you can subscribe. Why? Because video games. Still not feeling it.